toward the net. He scores!
Welcome to Old Spice College Lacrosse on ESPN. Today, these two great rivalries will renew acquaintances at our Lotta Stadium in South Bend, Indiana. Duke, Notre Dame, you saw some of the great moments in this rivalry. They've split the last 10 meetings, but today means as much as any game they have played really in years. Hi, everybody. Alongside Matt Ward, I'm Chris Cotter. We broke out our spring threads because it's an absolutely Chamber of Commerce day here in South Bend, Indiana. But a lot is on the line for these two teams. We mentioned it in the open. I mean, with the Selection Sunday just 24 hours away, both these teams have a lot to play for.
Absolutely. I mean, the ACC does not have a conference tournament with an automatic bid. But to me, this game represents that opportunity. The winner, most likely in.
Right.
The loser is going to be sweating it out with the selection committee and what they decide to do.
We saw a lot of stars in that opening video package, and one of them clearly for Notre Dame is a brand new face on the scene. It's Jake Taylor. He started the last 5 games for them. Irish are undefeated in those games.
He's got to feel great about himself. Undefeated as a starter. He's an off-ball player that knows offense very well. He's really opened up the game for the Kavanaughs, who are now playing their best lacrosse, I think directly relate to how he's been playing.
We're learning a lot about Taylor. We know a lot about Brennan O'Neill, the Duke superstar. He already has 50 goals on the year.
Yeah, he's just an absolute force. And when every time you talk about him, you go, oh, he's just a big guy with a lot of skill. Well, yeah, he is. And he is unstoppable when he gets going off a ball movement. Right here, to me, that's his key. Get the ball offensively off a ball movement, and then he's really going to make you pay because you can't move him off his line.
One of the keys you were telling me about, though, before we went on the air was the freshman McAdory out of the midfield. He might be the key to this whole Duke offense.
I wholeheartedly believe that. McAdory set the record for points out of the midfield for a freshman at Duke. But he, to me, is their best initiator. He's the one that's going to force Notre Dame's team to slide. And guess what? That then opens up O'Neill to do what he does best.
Senior day here in South Bend, so we got a big crowd at our Lotta with a lot on the line. Duke comes into this game 15th in the RPI. That's hard to believe given the fact that they've won 5 in a row and they're housing teams. They won all 5 games by an average of over 8 goals a game. They're destroying folks.
Yeah, they've done a great job, not letting the season get away from them. After their start, they could have mailed it in, but they had too much talent, too good a coaching staff. They are now playing their best brand of lacrosse.
Will Lynch and Jake Naso, that's going to be a battle at that face-off dot. Initial face-off won by Naso and possession to Duke. Goaltender battle will be something else we watch all game long with Adler and Entman, 2 of the best. Duke having a hard time getting it cleared, and they don't do it because the beautiful ride by Pat Cavanaugh. That just shows you right there how good of a player he is.
I mean, he is tough. He rides hard, he goes to the cage, but again, where I think he's really taken his game to the next level is I think early on he was dodge first, score first. He's really kind of come back to that facilitator role and is on potentially force us away from the Notre Dame record in a season with assists.
Outside of Naso, he leads this team in ground balls too. Now Quinn McCann reestablishing himself on that first midfield line. Wheaton Jacobois opts not to take the shot, instead passing it to Chris Cavanaugh behind the net, and it goes off his cross. It's the first turnover of the game against Notre Dame. Both teams statistically very good in the ride game, although in terms of clearing, Notre Dame much better than Duke. They've had some issues this year clearing the ball, and this is against a team that rides really well in the Irish today, so we'll keep an eye on that. Here's O'Neill. And as you talked about in the open, Andrew McAdory. Really one of their better dodgers going against a short stick, so we'll keep an eye on that matchup. Montgomery over to O'Neill. See the size and the strength. McAdory gets to the middle of the field. Over to Landon. Another really talented freshman on this Duke team. Shot clock at 25, still plenty of time for the Duke Blue Devils. O'Neill, he'll shoot. Entman just got a piece of that one. They'll reset the shot clock to 60.
But if you're Notre Dame, you live with that, right? O'Neill, to me, really does his best work goal line extended. When he's streaking down the side and playing almost like a midfielder,
right?
I mean, he's very good at it, but you'd give it up. You trust Entman in that scenario.
Officials just talking about where it caught Entman, and they agree that it did, so they'll reset the shot clock to 60. McAdory gets a step. Being checked by Nick Harris. Nakai, he'll shoot. Bouncer high off the mark, and he'll stay with Duke. Again, Entman just getting a piece of that, so 60 seconds on the clock. Long offensive possession for the Blue Devils. McAdory spins to the middle of the field. Now help comes back to his left. He shoots.
But that's the burst I'm talking about.
Yeah.
For me, out of the midfield, he is their quickest, probably most difficult matchup, especially getting the short stick. You know, I would keep going back to that well if I were Duke.
Landon. Nowhere to go as the ball's getting stuck in a stick a little bit there. Out to Nakai. Under 20 to shoot. Got it inside, and McAdory, and Entman makes the save.
3 stops for Entman in the cage for Notre Dame as they turn it over.
Oof.
This is trouble. Your defense is tired. That's a long possession that Duke had, and then to make the sloppy error there.
That defense has got to be gassed. At least you get a stoppage here to maybe get some fresh legs out there. Cameron Badur, Owen Caputo on the second midfield line for Duke. That's Caputo, shoots. Misses, but it stays with the Blue Devils. Extended offensive possession for Duke. And they have tested Entman already. Badur. Here's O'Neal. Now he has Harris on him. That's a mismatch O'Neal loves. Passes it, tried to get it to Caputo, and Williams was standing right there on the doorstep where he always camps out. Just couldn't find the handle. Picked off by Harris, good anticipation.
And now if you're Notre Dame, you get the possession here. You probably want to spin it around a couple times in the perimeter. Give your defense a chance to breathe.
Up to Dobson. He, number 8, and Jacoboy's 55, who has it right now in his cross. Their shooting percentages have gone through the roof relative to what they were in the first part of the year when Duke was struggling. You know, talking to Coach Corrigan during the week, he said with Jacoboys, we couldn't throw it in the ocean in the first few games, but then starting in that Syracuse game, just had the confidence get back. Didn't talk to him much about it, just said keep firing like a shooter in basketball. He has 10 goals in his last 21 shots. Kavanaugh, near side, off the outside of the cage, and that was ripped by Dobson. Did that dent the cage?
And how quick did he get that release? Usually when you get the ball out of your stick that quick, you don't have as much pace. Not the case with that shot.
But another turnover. It's the second time we've seen an Irish offensive possession end with a turnover. That's 3 on the game.
And we can see here, just look at Dobson in and out of his stick. I mean, the efficiency of that release. Not a big windup, all wrists. And I think jitters are to be expected in this game, right? I mean, it's got a different feel than a normal regular season game. This is
senior day, big crowd. Beautiful day here at South Bend. Everything on the line for both these teams. Duke wins, they're in. If Notre Dame wins, they got a shot, but they got to win first, and then they'll just see where the chips fall. This is McAdory. Now O'Neal comes off a pick, just gets a little bit of space. Entman is there.
So
Out and in, it'll be another turnover. And some little chippiness there.
You can see here Entenmann on the O'Neal save. Now Entenmann's an interesting goal. He's big body, goes down to his knees to make saves a fair amount, but usually when you do that as a goalie, you're susceptible to high shots. He's actually pretty good at high shots because he's so long. He makes a lot of saves up high, almost from like a crouched kneeling position.
Here's Robertson. Thought about firing. He's got a shorty on him. Now he does. Entenmann goes down and makes that save. He's a brick wall to start this game. First half of this first quarter, Matt, the Irish are leaning on Entenmann to keep him in the game with these extended possessions and turnovers on the other end.
Goes a long way. You don't have possession to have a goalkeeper playing at that level. And again, those are, for the most part, pretty high quality opportunities for this Blue Devils offense. He's been up to task.
5 saves already for Entenmann. Will Langrick, freshman on the second midfield unit for the Irish, gets it to Pat Cavanaugh.
I mean, Entenmann last matchup against Syracuse, his last time out, had over 20 saves.
Yeah, career high. Cavanaugh. Nice dish inside, and he scores. That's exactly what Jake Taylor has been doing since being inserted into the lineup 6 games ago, and he puts the Irish on the board early.
And it's interesting, we were talking to Coach Corrigan about Taylor, and he goes, he knows the game so well that he's one of the only players that knows to stay still when if the defense is sliding away, and he puts the Irish up by 1 here early.
Old Spice College Lacrosse is brought to you by Old Spice. Smell ready for anything. And Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen. Love that chicken from Popeye's.
When you're pumped up and ready to get going, the last thing you want slowing you down is your worn-out tires. At CJ's Tire and Automotive, you'll find the best selection of tires at prices that fit every budget, like the Michelin Defender family, Michelin's longest-lasting tires on the road. Stop by any of CJ's 17 convenient locations to find the best tires at the best price. CJ's Tire and Automotive. Better, faster, and more affordable.
Plan your trip today. Remember it forever. Maryland. Be open.
You're watching the ACC on ESPN. Beautiful day in South Bend. Notre Dame up on top of Duke by an early score, 1-0. And Jake Taylor, I mean, he scored 8 goals in his first start. That was the game against Syracuse, a Notre Dame single-game record, and he's back at it today.
And right here, just look how smart he's patient. He stands still. He saw the crease open up as Duke slides away. And right here, it's because Cavanaugh gets a step with a nice split. And now he's just planted on the crease. And then the twister finish inside, in and out of his stick. You know, I think he's been so important, particularly for Pat Cavanaugh, because it's opened up his passing lanes. I think early in the year, he was really pressing to score himself. And now with Taylor, he's able to feed first, and then guess what? That opens up his ability to dodge and put the ball in the back of the net on the individual efforts as well.
And Cavanaugh with his 36th assist on the year, just 2 shy of his own single-season record that he set last year. Naso originally got the possession, lost it. Will Frizzoli picks it up for Duke, though. O'Neal just wants to run and bully his way into open space, it seems, every time he gets the ball. Arden Cohen, number 40 on him, though, so that's a great matchup of 2 physical players. 34 for Duke, 40 for Notre Dame. Cohen looks to be a surefire first-round draft choice in the PLL draft coming your way on ESPNU Tuesday night.
He'll probably find himself on the first-team All-American list. I mean, he's that talented a player. It seems like he's been here in South Bend for, 2 decades. But he has made a name for himself.
O'Neal has 2, and he buries that shot. We're all leaving at 1.
And that's where O'Neal's at his best. Off of ball movement, a little bit closer to the cage. And if you run out at him, especially if it's a short stick, good luck, right? You're going to see here the nice ball movement, and they get it to him, and now Notre Dame is extending out, and he is just too big and too fast, where, you know, he can just attack the top shoulder and get to the best place in the field. And he's a great shooter mid-range. I think he struggles when he starts to stretch it a little bit more, but when he's at mid to close range, not many people do it better.
Yeah, you saw Quinn McCann, number 15 for Notre Dame, who's, you know, a starting midfielder, but he's a two-way player for them. He plays on the wing on the face-off, but he was caught out of position a little bit, trying to recover, couldn't do it.
Yeah, you cannot run out at Brendan O'Neill. You know, oftentimes you try to break down and actually go where you think they're going first, and McCann there just a little out of control, and O'Neill, too smart a player and too physically gifted, will make you pay for it.
Kavanaugh being checked by Brower. Now behind to his brother Chris. Here's McCann looking to dodge. Gets to the goal and scores! Too quick for Garrett Ledman, got a step on him and got all the way in front of Adler and was able to bury it.
And Notre Dame had a couple goals similar to this in their first matchup this year. McCann, the nice dodge, nice opportunity dodging down the side. And right here, what makes this a possibility is the patience and then the last second switch to his strong hand to increase the angle where he can bury it to the far post.
Coach Corrigan this week said, yeah, obviously Jake Taylor, inserting him in that crease attack role has been huge for them, but also putting McCann back in that first line midfield has given them a different dynamic, and it showed on that play. Now we got a big hit in the midfield. Both flags come out. Delayed call against Notre Dame, and O'Neill buries the shot, though. Wow.
And we're going to see here a scrum at the face-off. Naso on the ground, gets a pass and gets hit late. And then Duke again pushes in transition. Cohen steps up from O'Neill. Probably not the person you want to leave on the near side. But I think, you know, there's going to be a flag here on Notre Dame. The bigger question is, Naso is going back out. He looked banged up after that hit, but he is going back out there for the draw. But something to keep our eye on.
It is a flag after the play.
It wasn't
a personal foul.
It wasn't a dead ball. It wasn't
one hit. 1 minute rather on the high hit was the call.
Correct. It was, to me, it was high probably and late. You know, fortunate for Notre Dame. I mean, they didn't win the faceoff, but since it was prior to the whistle and it was late, you know, there's a faceoff. But
so Duke's a man up here for the next minute. And this is a lethal man-up unit, second best in the country. And O'Neill has 15 career man-up goals, 6 of them this year. Here he is on the side, but Nakai decides to take a shot. Right there is Entman. Big clear here for the Irish if they want to burn off the remainder of this man down. Get it across the midfield line. Look at Harris on his horse. Does the smart thing and backs it out as they want to run some clock.
Getting it out of the defensive end on a man-down situation, particularly now in our game where there's such a bigger emphasis on riding the ball back. And so getting it out when you have one less player has become more of a challenge. It was a nice, you know, job recognizing where to get the ball and how to get to the offensive end and kill off this penalty.
Adler goes up and makes the stop.
Duke's got 5 seconds to get over the midfield line here.
And they do just as Jake Caputo is able to clear it. Now we'll settle things in, even strength. Hey, don't forget Sunday night baseball matchup, Dodgers and Cubs, finishing up their 3-game series at Wrigley Field. Begins 6 o'clock Eastern with baseball tonight on Sunday night.
McAdory is causing all kinds of issues for this Notre Dame defense, but a nice job by them recovering on the interior. If I'm Notre Dame, I'd have a patient set here. You know, this is a long game. You need your defense to be not drained. And right now, I mean, the ball has been heavily favoring the Blue Devils in terms of time of possession.
Wow, how on earth are you going to let McCann get that type of room to step down and fire?
This was out of the substitution game for the Fighting Irish. McCann gets his second goal. And right here you can see it's coming out of the midfield. They catch Duke in a man-down situation effectively. They're slow to go, and he plants his feet and just peppers the upper right corner. Adler dropped his hands. McCann absolutely burns it by him to the top portion of the cage.
Violation against the Irish on the face-off. Pardon me, against Duke on the face-off. Irish coming into this game knowing they've got to win to have any chance to get into the NCAA tournament selection show tomorrow night on ESPNU.
And right now, Duke is choosing to short stick Jake Taylor, number 13, and they're double polling Dobson and Jacobbois. So something to keep an eye on.
Here's Kavanaugh. He got a favorable matchup and made Duke pay.
Pat Kavanaugh getting to the middle of the field with a short stick matchup. They slid to him early and he found Taylor the last offensive set. This time, Duke hesitates to engage him as he's dodging. Gets his hands free. Gets in the back of the cage. Their last matchup, Adler, one of the best goalies in the country, only had 5 saves against Notre Dame. Struggling a little bit here early as well.
Gave up 16 goals in that game with just 5 saves. Listen to the crowd. Look at that Notre Dame bench. Fired up. We get a timeout on the field. Irish up by 2 goals here late in the first quarter with everything on the line for Notre Dame. Coach Corrigan knows it. He's been saying it for the last month. You know, they started the year 2-4. Got a big win against Syracuse here at home where they could have scored 1,000 goals in that game, and that really turned things around for them. But since then, he said, we're in a must-win situation. We got to win out. Now they have an opportunity to win their 6th straight against some pretty good teams.
Look, this team is getting better. They're getting healthier. They found some appropriate people and made some strategic changes from a personnel perspective. Coach Corrigan has conducted this season masterfully after a tough start.
Loose ball in the middle of the field going to be picked up by the Irish. Jake Boyer. Another reason for this resurgence for this Notre Dame team is he's finally healthy.
And so here you have, looks like Taylor matched up against the short stick again. I think they have to keep their eye on that. I think he's too good off ball.
Right.
Where you may need that extra length of the stick on the interior.
Now Kavanaugh gets a shorty on him. Look at the attention he draws that far out from the goal mouth, and it works for Notre Dame. Frizzoli picking up the loose ball. Owen Caputo. He'll be working on a short stick. That's McCann. Does he ever leave the field? Tried to jam it inside, didn't work, but Duke will retain possession. Final 30 seconds of this first quarter. Shot clock irrelevant. Caputo trying to work with O'Neal, little two-man game behind the cage. Denenza bobbled it at first, gets it back. Clock winding down, final 6 seconds. Defended very well. Now a flag comes out late. Hallenbeck was all over Denenza and drew a late flag. Bush with possession against Hallenbeck.
And it's a tough one where Hallenbeck was playing really good defense. Denenza slips. And to me, it looked like a good play, but when you hit someone hard and it's questionable back or the side and they fall over, you're putting the ref in a position to have to throw the flag.
And Duke will be man up when we come back to start the second quarter. The Irish, with their backs against the wall, doing everything they need to do in the first quarter, up by 2.
When you're pumped up and ready to get going, the last thing you want slowing you down is your worn-out tires. At CJ's Tire and Automotive, you'll find the best selection of tires at prices that fit every budget, like the Michelin Defender family, Michelin's longest-lasting tires on the road. Stop by any of CJ's 17 convenient locations to find the best tires at the best price. CJ's Tire and Automotive. Better, faster, and more affordable.
Plan your trip today. Remember it forever. Maryland. Be open.
With the first selection in the 2008 Collegiate Draft, the Boston Cannons select Paul Rabel, midfield, Johns Hopkins.
Joe Walters, attack, University of Maryland.
Ned Crotty, attack, Duke. Lyle Thompson, attack, Albany.
Miles Jones, midfield, Duke.
The Archers select Grant Ament from Penn State.
Jeff Teat, attack, Cornell.
Get ready for it. PLL draft coming your way Tuesday night on ESPNU. Clark's big board right now. Arden Cohen, you mentioned it. Now that Notre Dame defenseman's going to have his name called, and the Kai Montgomery, part of a pretty deep midfield group coming out in this draft class. I think most of the coaches in the PLL will agree that probably skews a little bit offensively in terms of the depth at attack and midfield. And your experience playing professional lacrosse with limited rosters on the PLL, you got to be a really dynamic player, don't you? You can't. It's really hard to be, focused on one particular skill set unless you're somebody like Grant Ament or somebody like that who is so good at it, or maybe a Chris Gray who will probably be the #1 player taken.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking. O'Neal.
How is that goal even still intact? Dobson.
He's had a tough first quarter.
Dobson ripped it, and then O'Neal just put a dent on the crossbar.
But to your point in the PLL, to me, and professionally, the do-it-all midfielder is the hard piece to come by, but probably the most important. There's so many good attackmen. There's so many really skilled offensive players, but very few people do it both at a high level, both offense and defense.
Notre Dame doing a nice job killing off that penalty to start this second quarter. Now here is the aforementioned Kai Montgomery. Quick passing inside and a goal for Duke. That's the man-up specialist right there, Cam Muley, who stayed on after they went full strength, and that's exactly what they do so beautifully, man-up.
Yeah, how pretty was that? Right here, Montgomery has a short stick. He's a very good passer out of the midfield, and Muley with the perfectly timed cut looked like a man-up play. And again, at times, an opportunity oftentimes presents itself as a penalty releases. Teams are scrambling on the defensive end, and if you make a couple good dodges and a couple quick passes, more often than not, you're going to find an opportunity on the inside. And Muley buries that one in the back of the cage.
Rarity at the face-off X nowadays with the new rules, but a shortened stalemate won by Naso. But a turnover, unfortunately, trying to clear it, gives it back to Notre Dame.
It's too high.
That pass was too high?
Little Major League reference there for you.
I was thinking that was the best analysis you've given me all season long.
It was very in-depth.
Very in-depth. Loose ball picked up by Chris Cavanaugh. Now over to Jacoboyce. Heel invert with Matt Camille checking him. Dobson, Adler went down and robbed him.
A little early in the set for Dobson to take that shot. Adler had been struggling inside, and quite frankly, offensively, they've been generating. When they have had good possessions, they've created high-quality shots. That was too early and too far out.
Substitution patterns play themselves out. Here comes McAdory out of the box. Look at that quickness.
How quick is he?
Williams! That's a tough angle, and Entman didn't give him much to shoot at, but he found a crease.
Another quick stick type goal. It all starts again with McAdory coming out of the box. Now Duke has Notre Dame scrambling, and then a nice pass to Dyson Williams, who is absolutely a terrific shooter on the low left. But again, it doesn't have to be hard, doesn't have to be particularly accurate, but if you can get it out of your stick quickly as the goalie's rotating, very tough. Duke
continue to have issues, don't they, clearing the ball. Just over 86% on the year. It's about middle of the pack. And those issues continue today. Caputo shut off by Ben Ramsey. Williams scores! That's 2 in a row for Dyson. Duke back on top.
Right here, you have Caputo below the goal. Finds Williams taking that cut. Now here you think Entman thinks he's going far post. You can start to see him lean. Opens up that near side. Duke's now scored on their last 3 shots after Entman started the game. Lights out in cage for Notre Dame.
2 of them by this guy, Dyson Williams.
This is a story right here. Naso controlling the clamp for most of this game, and Duke now has a 7-3 advantage at the face-off X.
Yeah, we told you that would be huge at the start of this game, and it has been. Robertson. He'll wait for substitutions. Brador over to Nakai. McAdory got his hands free, and he scores! He's a handful running out of the box. So much top-end speed, and he can use both hands so effectively and shoot on the run like that.
And I think Notre Dame is going to have to make an adjustment because all game they're bringing him out of the box last and getting it to him, and he has got a full head of steam. And he's just too quick and sudden. Right here, that is way too much space for him. Gets in the middle of the field. He's fearless. Hammers it to the far corner. Duke on a roll, up 6-4.
When you're checking LinkedIn, more than TikTok, it's time to find your fidelity. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Explore careers and apply today.
The overtime went into overtime. What do? You turn to DiGiorno to be MVP. MV Pizza. Fresh baked taste. The win and move. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
Plan your trip today. Remember it forever. Maryland. Be open.
Duke is on a roll right now, up 6-4, and you talked about it in the open. Andrew McAdory, freshman record for scoring for a midfielder at Duke, and here's why.
Yeah, he's just a remarkable athlete, and to me, he's going to get the short stick matchup, right? Nakai Montgomery's going to typically get the pole, so he is your clear number one, in my opinion, initiator on the offensive end, because then you get players like O'Neal in more dangerous positions on the field. Nakai Montgomery can get a step-down shot. I mean, they found something with him, and everyone knew how good he was. He was predominantly the number one recruit all through high school, ended up being a top 5 recruit, and he's proving why.
This time Lynch gets the better of Naso. He's performed so much better in this 5-game winning streak that the Irish have enjoyed. And he faced off against some monsters early on in the year. Notre Dame wants a timeout. They get it. At the 10:49 mark here in this second quarter. Hey, the NBA playoffs roll on today. A pair of game 3s over on ABC and on the ESPN app. Celtics and Bucks square off at 3:30 Eastern. Warriors hosting the Grizz in their Western Conference semis at 8:30 Eastern on ABC.
I think that was a wonderful timeout from Coach Corrigan there. First face-off win in a while. You get a pole matchup on a pole, that's trouble. They're able to get it into the box, and he understands how important possession is right now, especially with the run Duke's going on, and that your defense could be a little tired. So I think, you know, Coach Corrigan, again, showing why he's one of the best coaches of all time. Looking a little younger in that picture there.
Look at that hairdo. What was that, like his first season, 34 years ago, here in South Bend? What a job he has done.
I mean, what a job he's done for Notre Dame, but also I would say lacrosse, and really kind of being the first program towards the middle and western part of the country to have success and to do it in and year out, and to get into the recruiting and to really help our sport grow.
15 straight NCAA appearances for Kevin Corrigan, and that streak is in serious jeopardy this year. You know, you think coming into this game, 15th in the RPI, there are 4 losses. Maryland, Georgetown, Virginia, and Ohio State. Ohio State's on the bubble with them, and that one might hurt because the committee might say, hey, head-to-head, Ohio State's got it over you. But those first 3, the top 3 teams ranked in the Inside Lacrosse poll this past week.
I mean, look, they're the only team that's played Maryland at all close. You know, and that was early in the year when they weren't playing their best lacrosse.
And they are playing their best lacrosse now. There's no doubt about it. Kavanaugh wanted a call against Caputo, won't get it.
But this is a good matchup for the Fighting Irish. Your best offensive player against a short stick. Duke's going to be early to slide. And that's just great awareness, right? He saw Duke coming early. Got his head up. Kenny Brower was the defenseman trying to recover out to get him, and they just missed that opportunity.
Adler did get a piece, reset the shot clock to 60. Dobson Shoots. Adler goes down to get him. No push on that call. No push on it. Duke bench wanted it, didn't get it. Danowski's all up in arms. It'll stay with the Irish. Dobson again. Couldn't get it to Kavanaugh. He recovers.
He's got that favorable matchup again. This isn't offense. This is when you get away from him. I don't know if I bring a long stick close to him, make Duke come and slide.
Saw Carpenter. Now his brother has it. Brower's on him. Chris Kavanaugh will look to dodge. Back to Pat. Uses a pick. Caputo does a great job dislodging the ball from Kavanaugh.
That is how you hedge a pick right there if you're Duke. With Caputo just bringing the body, but also the perfectly timed check.
Robertson looking for Denenza coming out of the box and finds him. Duke gets the initial clear.
Right here on the left side of your screen. Body and check, maybe a little high, but I think it hits stick first. Just a great defensive play from Caputo.
There's his brother Owen. Inside, Robertson, he scores. "147 goals in his career. You give him a spot like that with a little bit of room, he's going to make you pay.
And Notre Dame defense making it a little too easy for Duke. Right here, Caputo, the short stick, gets his second assist of the game, but really not sure why Robertson is so open in the middle of the field where Caputo wasn't really applying a lot of pressure on the defense. Duke has got Notre Dame thinking defensively, and the Fighting Irish really need to start communicating better on the interior, kind of make adjustments on these short stick defensive matchups.
Irish are up 4-2 in this game, had all the momentum. Duke has scored 5 in a row. Lynch will track this one down. Can he get a hand on it? Finally gets possession, but Naso levels him. Now we're going to get a flag on that play. Harris is just harassed as he's trying to run to daylight. Will he take a shot? He will, and score! That lights up the Irish bench.
That is a juice goal right there. Just individual effort after individual effort. Starts with Lynch in the face-off X. Battling for the ground ball. Flings it to the middle of the field. Now we're off to the races. The low-angle shot. You can hear the crowd and the energy. Harris, what a play.
Let's go, Will, get one more.
Naso wins it back to himself. Naso's taken over 400 draws this year for Duke. He's all they're got. Now that Jordan Ginder went out with an injury. It's your year, Naso. Up top to Robertson. Entman saw that Bador offering all the way.
Again, though, why is Bador so open with no one on him? Notre Dame needs to clean that up on the defensive end. Entman bailed you out early on in this game in the cage. Duke was generating a lot of quality shots. The last few possessions, they've created way too much space for the Blue Devil shooters by just not being matched up appropriately.
Angrick, Gray, Myra, those are your midfielders now for the Irish. Here's Gray. To Kavanaugh. Over to Angrick. Griffin Westland, number 31 in the game now for the Irish. Corrigan getting some fresh legs out there. Just past the midway point of this second quarter. This man ain't leaving the game, Pat Cavanaugh. Now he's got Garrett Ledman on him. Look for him to attack from X. Oh, and he makes him pay. Beautiful pass. Got it to Jake Taylor. His second of the day.
Right here, Cavanaugh with a nice split. The C's part. Taylor steps back into space. And what I like about this shot is he goes high to high. Adler's tendency in the cage is to go low. His hands and body drop. I really think the top portion of the cage is where Notre Dame should be attacking. Mr. Momentum is on the side of the Fighting Irish.
We're going back and forth here in this first half.
And that was very similar in the first matchup, in which Notre Dame won by 1 goal. Back and forth, bunch of swings. And now a penalty coming on Duke. It's going to be a third violation on Naso.
As is the case with every team, 3 face-off violations in 1 half. Every subsequent violation then will be 30 seconds.
And that's the big piece, right? I mean, there's still 6.5 minutes left in this half. Every face-off now, Naso's going to have that in the back of his mind, and he's not going to be able to jump as aggressively as he was early on.
Irish man-up unit leads the nation. Almost 68%.
That's a crazy number.
Big part of that is the fact that you got Jacobois, Cavanaugh, and then on the near side, Dobson. Guys who would just have hammers. Here's Dobson. Richard Daly, number 1. He's the freshman in the game. He's got it right now inside behind the back goal. Jake Taylor. The first half hat trick for the junior from Denver. The Irish have all the momentum back, even at 7.
And look at this. This is what man-up offense is supposed to look like. The skip pass, then the interior, and then the beautiful release behind the back. Right here, Richard Daly gets an interior to Taylor. And then the finish. That's what he does best. His 24th goal of the year, 3rd today. Notre Dame's undefeated with him in the starting lineup.
Scored 22 goals in those 5 and almost a half games since being inserted in that game against Syracuse. Face-off battle continues. This time Duke was able to corral in the middle of the field, and it's Robertson. Caputo, forced wide by Harris, now rolling to his left. Behind O'Neal. Cohen and O'Neal. Like 2 freight trains colliding. Oh, nice look inside of Caputo. Dyson Williams. It's usually reversed with those 2. Williams is usually camped on the doorstep. This time, pass to Caputo ends up in the back of the net.
And this Duke team, when they move the ball and they play team offense, it's a different animal than when it's kind of the one-on-one dodging, hey, I'm going to go to score myself. Today, they have brought their A game. They are giving Notre Dame all kinds of problems off of ball movement, off the initial dodge, and lots of hockey assists. And right there, Caputo gets his 8th goal of the season, his 3rd point of the game. The senior making an impact in their biggest game of the season.
Duke back on top by a goal. Naso pops it out to himself. Now to Adler. Wilson Stevenson finds Nakai coming out of the box. Quickness. Got his hands free, opted to get it to O'Neal. Here's McAdory. Reed Landon checks in. Here he is with the ball in his cross, number 26.
Notre Dame seems to have bumped the pole up on McAdory. So Duke's going to try to find the next short step matchup right here, which is Robertson, their senior attackman, who, I don't know, scored, 4 game-winning goals last year.
Yeah.
And that's a tough matchup for anyone to get going on a defensive side as well.
Robertson just trying to dodge. He realizes he has the mismatch. Instead, he gets it off on the wing, and there's Williams.
I mentioned earlier, when you get it out of your stick quickly, you don't have to be that accurate. Well, he got it out of his stick hit quickly, and guess what? This was a pretty accurate shot. In and out, far post. His 3rd goal of the game. Right here, Notre Dame does a pretty nice job defensively on the matchup, but just ball watches a little bit, and Duke makes you pay. Almost all of Duke's goals, outside of 1 or 2 assisted goals. You know, this team is too talented when they play that type of lacrosse to keep them out of the back of the cage.
And Naso continues to get the better of Lynch, but he loses his footing here. Now we get a flag. Oh, and another big hit late. No call on that one, it appears, as Chris Cavanaugh was dumped right as the whistle blew. It'll be a 30-second push against Will Lynch. Take another look.
Right here, it looks like it's the right call, right? It's incidental contact, but to me, it's more of a trip than anything else.
That was the one right there. Did you see that with Wilson Stevenson right as the whistle blew? Duke might have been fortunate not to get another call, but either way, they are up 30 seconds as we reach the 4-minute mark of this first half. Kai over to O'Neal. Fakes the shot. Now he'll rip it. Too high.
And that's not the shot you want to man up. You don't need to be dodging a pole, running to the middle.
Dyson with a tough angle. Gets it to O'Neal up top. Now back to Dyson. He'll shoot and score!
Eight goals now on the last 11 shots for Duke. Entenmann, who came out on fire, struggling a little bit here in the second quarter. Just a simple carry and pass back to where the ball came from. Low to low, one Entenmann probably wants back, but Dyson Williams, 4 goals in the first half. His 43rd of the season.
Procedure call this time against Lynch. Another possession for Duke off the faceoff. The game of runs. 3-goal lead for Duke, their largest of the day, after the Irish went on a run to tie it at 7. Caputo off a pick, got space and scores.
Notre Dame having all kinds of problems with this big little matchup behind the cage. Caputo has figured it out. He's got a couple assists from behind the cage. This time the pick frees him up to his left hand, near side high. Blue Devils now up by 4. Their second midfield making an impact. That's what you need to make a run, is depth.
That time Naso guilty of the hold as Colin Hagstrom came in for the Irish to attempt that face-off. Big 3 minutes here for Notre Dame, down 4. Before we go into the half. Dobson, the Jackaboys. Haven't heard much from 55 in white today. Knocked away absolutely perfectly that time by Duke. And they'll look to move quickly. Cohen comes out of the scrum with it. Gets it to Chris Cavanaugh. Irish are offside though. Another turnover, unforced error.
And Notre Dame was not offsides there.
Adler loses his footing. Mayhem right now on this field.
McCann was back, number 15.
Flag down behind the play. We'll check that out. This is going to go against the Irish as we're under 2 minutes to play. Bador. Robertson, so a delayed call going to go against Notre Dame. Nothing going right for the Irish right now. In a game they have to win. McAdory on Hallenbeck. He'll look to take advantage. Start and stop for McAdory is unbelievable. Now Cohen. You can hear the coaching staff for the Irish unhappy. Robertson dropped it, gets it back though. Now he's got an advantage. 15 to shoot for the Blue Devils.
This is a big possession because I think this penalty is going to be an unreleasable penalty. Duke gets one here and they can win a faceoff. Notre Dame's in trouble.
Only 3 to shoot though. And the desperation shot goes wanting. We get the horn for the shot clock violation. Now we'll get the call. Not unreleasable though, so that's at least one good thing for the Irish. That's the slash right there. Jake Taylor on the ride on Adler. Corrigan wants more of an explanation as we get a timeout on the field. I think he's gotten all he's going to get. Duke's calling the timeout. Coach Corrigan, Coach Wellner on that defensive side, especially for Notre Dame, they got to figure something out, don't they?
Yeah, Duke's presented all kinds of problems for them. Attacking the short stick matchup, and it's been Caputo, it's been McAdory. And that, to me, is such a difference between when I watched Duke play. Early in the year, it was O'Neal. It was Montgomery, like exclusively dodging against poles. And yes, they're talented players, but I don't know if your offense should start there. And Duke's realized that, and because of that, they're now forcing teams to slide. And then you're opening up the field for players like O'Neal and Montgomery, who are great passers, great shooters, to just play better offense. You know, we watched the Syracuse-Duke game. I called it early in the year. It was stationary offense. And this is a different team playing better lacrosse, and guess what? That's kind of the Duke brand. They get better every year as the season progresses, probably at a higher rate than most programs.
Hey, next stop on the F1 schedule, first ever Crypto.com Miami Grand Prix. Our coverage begins tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock Eastern on ABC, ESPN Deportes, and of course on that ESPN app as well. Scoring in this game has been a little bit of a Formula One race. Already 18 goals combined. Kind of like that first matchup. Duke won 16-15 earlier in the year. I should say Notre Dame rather, won 16-15. Irish jumped out early in this game, had the crowd behind him, up 4-2. Since then, it's been a game of runs, and right now, Duke's on the run to get him a 4-goal lead. Blue Devils have outscored the Irish 9-3 in this second quarter, and they'll be man up coming out of this timeout.
They've been the better team, you know, this half, right? If you really look at it early on, yes, Notre Dame was up, but Duke was peppering Entenmann and Cage, and he was just making save after save. But it became too much. Too much offense, too much defense for Notre Dame, and eventually you wear down.
Nakai over to O'Neal. Quick passing. Kai. Robertson. O'Neal. Just probing this defense. Simu Late, 21, camped in the middle. He's that man-up specialist right in that spot. Clock winding down. Someone's got to take a shot.
It's actually smart.
Yeah, with 6 seconds. They'll have 6 seconds.
They'll have 6 seconds and no face-off to start the third quarter.
So they'll have possession. That's exactly what Nakai did. Rather than force a shot from the outside, he opted to keep possession. Duke will have possession when we get to the second half and a 4-goal lead. The rivalry is big enough without all that's on the line today. Everything to play for. Duke up by 4 at the break. Probably talking to all the millions of people that are watching our game, saying, I can see you on TV, Coach. Talking to Coach Corrigan's wife, Liz, in the stands. Good to see Coach Freeman here enjoying some lacrosse. His Irish, though, got to pick things up. Down by 4. And a big reason for it, for at least the Irish's success during this current 5-game winning streak. Jake Taylor's been unbelievable.
Yeah, early on, Notre Dame got up to 4-2 lead, and Kavanaugh to Taylor is something you hear frequently for this Notre Dame offense. And right here, the last, probably the prettiest of the bunch, the man up. Keeping Notre Dame within striking distance, but it's been Duke's offense that has been special in the afternoon, and that starts with Dyson Williams. He is shooting the ball at a high level right now. 4 goals in the first half. Just look at his awareness right here in the low part of your screen. Steps out, bang! Back in the cage to the corner, perfect placement. And then here, showing a little range on the outside. Continuing to pour it on this Fighting Irish defense. Getting Duke up 11-7 at half.
See the face-offs. Naso getting the better of Lynch. We saw Hagstrom in one draw in that first half. He thought that would be important. It is. Taylor getting his. He scored 1 million goals in the last 6 games, 5.5 really. But Dyson Williams, you know, there's always so much talk about O'Neal in the kind. You talk about Andrew McAdory in the freshman years he's having, but there's Dyson. He played midfield last year when Sowers came over. Now with Lully transferring in from Penn, he's had to run some out of the box as well. He's just productive.
Look, credit to him, too, to staying focused, right? It'd be easy to get distracted when he was one of the highest recruits 3 years ago. Comes in, he was kind of the new man on campus and made an impact. And the next year, they asked him to do something a little different. And this year, you know, to your point, they brought in Lully, but he's been, you know, he's persevered. And he's found himself in a great position.
Oh, right off the bat. No face-off because Duke is man up. And they score 6 seconds into this second half. So you were absolutely prophetic when you said at the end of that first half, don't take a wild shot when the horn is approaching. Just keep possession. Even though you're only man up for the first 6 seconds, you'll have possession.
And again, when that happens, good things tend to be the result. And that's a little funky play in that he kind of passes it to the crease. It was almost like a tipped shot in a hockey game. Right there, McAdory gets in the back of the cage. Tough break for Notre Dame, but again, Nakai Montgomery, a senior at the end of the first half. I think most people were thinking there's, you know, shoot, there's no time left, but he knew we get the ball back, and the direct result of that was the 12th goal of the afternoon for the Blue Devils.
Lynch gets possession himself. Now it's critical time. There's still plenty of lacrosse still to be played. Full half. But if you're Notre Dame in a must-win situation, you're down 5. And every offensive possession counts because you've shown on the other half that you're having a hard time defending this dynamic Duke offense.
Yeah, that's why every ground ball becomes a little bit more important for the Fighting Irish than it does for Duke. Face-offs, Lynch is going to have a monstrous second half against Naso, one of the best face-off men in the country. It's a lot to ask of a freshman, but that's where it starts. They need possession after possession.
McCann making the extra pass. Dobson, heel grip, too high. Chris Kavanagh's got the short stick. Comes upfield, doesn't have much of an angle. Forced back behind the cage by Carpenter. Here's McCann. Now the help comes against him. Dangerous pass to Kavanaugh, though he gets free. Runs over defender, but loses his own footing. End result is a shot clock violation. That was a heck of a defensive possession for Duke.
Their best of the day. Because look, I think Notre Dame played some pretty good offense. They got Chris Kavanaugh matched up on a short stick behind the cage. But they kept their composure, they kept their matchup, they kept their scheme. But that's the play Notre Dame needs, right? Right there, right. The turnover on the riding.
That's plagued, if there's anything that's plagued Duke all season long, really, and today, it's been that clearing game where they haven't been able to get good offensive possessions on the other end far too many times. So the Irish going with Gray, Angrick, and Meyer on the second midfield unit. Here's Angrick. Now Meyer will come on. He'll look to run free. Does. That time hit that pipe over there. That goal is just taking a beating today. Angrick, no angle, gets it to Kavanaugh behind the cage. He'll work on Brower. Up top, Gray. Chris Kavanaugh shoots.
Like that play from Kavanaugh, though. Chris Kavanaugh steps up the field, takes that shot, uses Carpenter as a screen, just didn't get it on cage.
Pat Kavanaugh tried to find the cutting midi. Angrick couldn't corral it, but his brother Chris does. Still 25 to shoot. Gray, he'll shoot.
Mr. Post again.
Resets the clock to 60 seconds. Here's Gray up top. Over to Kavanaugh. Double team comes. It means Taylor was open, but he missed the target. It's the one thing Coach Corrigan said about his team's shooting woes early in the year. In the second half of the year, if you're going to miss, at least get it on cage. Make the goaltender make a stop. And they've been much better doing that in the last 5 games. Gray. Defended nicely, couldn't get anything on that shot.
A long possession here for Notre Dame. Generating some high quality opportunities. Wearing this defense down.
Angrick again couldn't get much on the shot as Duke did a nice job defending individually, and Blue Devils come out of there with the ball.
Things are coming together for this Duke team on the defensive end, on the offensive end. I think their weakness right now, it's in the clearing game as we're seeing them try to get in the box for an offensive set. Tough to win a national championship when you don't clear the ball effectively or efficiently, right? No matter how good you are on offense and defense, the loss of those possessions tends to be the difference.
McAdory coming on the field, helps Nakai out. Thought you made a good point on number 2 here for Duke, with Nakai drawing the pole in so many instances. McAdory's going to get a shorty, and with his ability to, just his quickness and his ability to run, he's going to be able to take advantage of that often. Lipka. Down the alley, he'll shoot. Adler saw that one all the way. Back and forth we go at Arlotta inside of 10 minutes into this third quarter. Absolute must win for the Irish if they want any hope of hearing their name called on Selection Sunday tomorrow. Tomorrow night on ESPNU, but right now they trail by 5. It's been an impressive performance by the Duke Blue Devils on the road. We talk a lot about the Irish and this 5-game winning streak they bring into this game. Duke's been playing great lacrosse of late as well. You go back to that Syracuse loss, that was the low point. Things have been much better for them since. O'Neal just tries to power his way in. Entman makes the initial save. O'Neal tried to get the rebound, just couldn't get it.
It was a nice job by Cohen, boxing him out. A lot like you do in basketball. Used his body to allow Entman the kind of easy ground ball.
Gets it to Gray. He'll just run to daylight with the clear. Bryce Walker with the ball. On to Meyer, now back to Walker. Kavanaugh had his defender hung up initially. Brower now hung up again, tried to get it to Taylor. Overthrows it, but Chris Kavanaugh will give chase. 20 seconds to shoot for the Irish. Walker on Ledman. Brower with the help. Now to Kavanaugh. Quickly to Meyer. He'll shoot. Score! That's good ball movement by the Irish, and it ends up in the back of the net.
Some consistent pressure by this Irish offense. Getting the ball to Kavanaugh behind the cage to Meyer with the Sladink three-quarter release. Beats Adler to get the goal, the game within 4.
When you're checking LinkedIn, more than TikTok, it's time to find your fidelity. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Explore careers and apply today.
The overtime went into overtime. What do? You turn to DiGiorno to be MVP. MV Pizza. Fresh baked taste. The win and move. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
Plan your trip today. Remember it forever. Maryland. Be open.
Welcome back to Old Spice College Lacrosse on ESPN. About midway through the third quarter here at Arlotta. Let's check out this last Notre Dame goal. Good ball movement. Pat Kavanaugh, his season-tying record for Notre Dame, 39th assist, tying his own record from last year.
And right there, just a nice job, drawing the slide, getting it through X, and then just quickly vision up. I mean, Kavanaugh knew exactly where he was going with that pass before he even got the ball back. 38 assists on the season, tying the program record that he set last year. I think he's at his best when he's a distributor first, goal scorer second. He does them both at a high level. But it just looks a little bit easier to me when he lets the game come to him than when he tries to force the issue at times.
Now the Irish have got to level things out a little bit at the face-off X. That'll help. Lynch wins it to himself. The Irish need, this game was a game of runs in the first half. Irish need to go on one here. Kavanaugh thought about dodging and going to the goal quickly. Forced behind the cage though. Wilson Stevenson doing a nice job. Now Notre Dame will set up 6-on-6. Jacket boys back over to Taylor. Loses it as he tried to dodge.
Duke's really good on the ground balls. Brower, Stevenson, Carpenter.
Yeah, Brower won that one. And effective on the clear as well. Robertson to O'Neal. Cohen working him. Denenza to Lully. Lully has Hallenbeck on him. McCann is there too. Denenza's open. And Entman went down to Rob. That time Caputo had a really good look. Entman was quick to go down and rob him.
Caputo telegraphed the shot a little bit, dropped his stick low. I mean, I really love in that position there a high overhand shot to the mid-waist area to the far post. Really tough spot for the goalie to make that save.
Don't forget ACC Women's Lacrosse Championship tonight right here on the ACC Network. Number 1 seed in North Carolina hosts number 2 Boston College at Dorrance Field in Chapel Hill. Our coverage begins at 6. You kidding me with those two rivals? Defending national champ BC against the defending ACC champ North Carolina. Dobson. Just not sharp. They aren't as sharp shooting the ball as they've been. You know, that's been a big thing for them as to why they've had success in these last few games, is they're putting it on cage. And today they've just been a little bit off.
You know, I think they've shot the ball fine when it's come off ball movement, good offense. It's when they're standing still, like Dobson there, shooting it from the outside. You know, as Ledbetter there, again, a nice job.
Another ground ball in their own end.
Kavanaugh's 3rd turnover of the game, but another issue riding here.
Carpenter, though, just snags it. Hoover on the carpet. Gets it to Nakai. Williams thought about it, just had it in his wrong hand. O'Neal on Cohen. Muscles his way in, shoots and scores! Cohen did everything but lock him up. O'Neal's just too strong.
Right here, O'Neal, again, gets Cohen coming out of him, a little aggressive, and then he's just too strong, and then the patience, right? A lot of times people take that first shot when they get their hands free, but he realizes Cohen is going to the ground. You're gonna see it right here. He's gonna kind of give like that jump. He's like, you know what, I got a little bit more time. Plant my feet, high to high. The biggest physical presence in the game of college lacrosse is that man right there, Brendan O'Neal, number 34 for Duke.
Lynch now. Will he look to attack? Kavanaugh does the smart thing as Duke was doing a really nice job getting back into the hole. He backs it out, waits for substitutions. Lead is back up to 5 for the Blue Devils. Walker down the alley, forced to goal line extended, but has a little bit of a crease right there that he saw a shot, but wasn't able to get it onto Mike Adler. Possession stays with the Irish, now under 4 to play in this 3rd quarter. Remember, back in the first half, this game was 7-7. After the Irish made a run and had all the momentum. Since then, it's been all Duke. Walker looks to spin. Gets a step. Scores! Now, Walker and Westland were the 2 attackmen that Jake Taylor really came in and supplanted in terms of playing time. But we're seeing a little bit of Westland and Walker today, and Walker.
And just the split roll combination right there from X. Low angle. We're gonna get a nice look of it here. I mean, maybe 1 or 2 steps ahead of goal line extended. And is able to get enough force and enough angle just to slip it by Adler and Cage. The sophomore gets his 6th goal of the season.
Lynch has won a couple in a row here. Naso comes out of there with it, but can't hang on. He gets shoved to the ground, no call. Every loose ball absolutely critical right now for this Notre Dame team as Naso gets leveled. Clean hit. Jose Boyer comes out of there with it. Still has it. Gets it to Chris Kavanaugh.
Look at the bench for the Fighting Irish. What a scrum, the 50-50 ground ball. That's everything that makes lacrosse great. It's physical. Sometimes you just got to put your nose down and do the work to make an impact on a game.
McCann working on Ledman. Inside to Kavanaugh, who scores! The deficit is down to 3 for the Irish.
Just a nice job here. McCann with a pass down low. Chris Kavanaugh. The face dodge right here. You're going to see the nice move. Protects his stick. Then steps up the field. It's that subtle step up the field that draws Adler off the post that opens the near side window for Kavanaugh. Chris Kavanaugh to get his first goal of the game.
4 face-offs in a row for the Irish in this third quarter. Make it 5. Lynch will shoot. Adler is there to deny him. That would have torn the roof off this place if it had one. Frizzoli. And he does that so well. That punt return clear. Now he gets it into the stick of one of his short stick midfielders. That's Landon. Looking for Robertson on the far side. Now Nakai coming in.
And I like the thought there from Lynch to push it in transition, but man, every possession more important than the next.
McAdory.
And this is where Duke wants to be right now. McAdory matched up on the short stick. Now look, Notre Dame sliding, and now it's all trouble.
Landon, now O'Neal up top. Nakai shoots and scores. Got it past Entenmann. Blue Devils get a little of that momentum back.
Nakai Montgomery. Again, good offense. Notre Dame scrambling, but right here, look at this. The one arm protecting the stick almost like an attackman. Look how he's got it down low. He's going to get his hand on the stick real quick. Can plant his feet, high to low. Gets it past Entenmann to get Duke back up by 4 with a minute and a half left here in the third quarter.
Nakai surely will be a 3-time All-American when all is said and done at the end of this year. He'll be looking forward to the PLL draft on Tuesday night, but first things first, got to lead his Blue Devils to the NCAA tournament. Again, Lynch with the win.
He's found something here in the second half.
Got it to Boyer, now to Kavanaugh.
Notre Dame's going to feel good if they're going to get a goal here, get it close, get it to 3 goals, and what the momentum they're building at the face-off X and getting those extra possessions. Very much in this.
Can down the alley. Help comes back behind the cage. Kavanaugh in front, scores! Jake Taylor had a huge first half. That's his first of the second, and it draws Notre Dame back to within 3.
Taylor's 4th goal, Kavanaugh's 4th assist. He now rewriting the record books for the Fighting Irish with his 39th assist on the season. But Taylor, again, off ball, just knows how to find the seams. If you look away for 1 second and here's your matchup, he's going to make you pay. He probably knows defensive schemes better than the defensemen themselves. Notre Dame now has won 6 straight face-offs in the second half.
Make it 7. Hallenbeck comes out of there with it. Under a minute to play in this third quarter. Shot clock irrelevant at this point. McCann will get things started on Ledman. Gets a step. Nobody picks him up. Adler, though, makes the save, saw it all the way. How quickly will Duke look to counter?
And they were fortunate there. You got to slide to McCann when he gets to that part of the field, but Adler with a nice save, really attacking forward. Duke trying to get it over the midfield.
They do. O'Neal. This will be a pole goal chance. Just can't get it on Cage. Irish win the battle for possession with just 6.5 left to go in the third. Entman's just going to have to chuck it. Hope something good happens on the other end. He does. Is anybody there to receive it? He's looking for Kavanaugh. Nothing doing as we wrap up this third quarter. The Irish showing a whole lot of fight in a must-win situation, down 3 as we head to the final stanza.
Old Spice College Lacrosse is brought to you by Old Spice. Smell ready for anything.
When you're pumped up and ready to get going, the last thing you want slowing you down is your worn-out tires. At CJ's Tire and Automotive, you'll find the best selection of tires at prices that fit every budget, like the Michelin Defender family, Michelin's longest-lasting tires on the road. Stop by any of CJ's 17 convenient locations to find the best tires at the best price. CJ's Tire and Automotive. Better, faster, and more affordable.
Plan your trip today. Remember it forever. Maryland. Be open.
You're watching the ACC on ESPN. Matt Ward, Chris Cotter heading to the fourth quarter here at Arlotta. Great crowd on hand in the stands on the berm, and they're being treated to some special lacrosse. Duke's up by 3 as we head to the fourth, and you can see, according to Lacrosse Reference, Wardo, if Duke wins, they're pretty much in. If they lose, they're sweating a little bit tomorrow on Selection Sunday. Notre Dame has to win, and even with a win, it's not a guarantee they'll go in, but better than 50-50 odds.
Yeah, I mean, Notre Dame wins, and they don't make the NCAA tournament. Like, something's wrong, right? I mean, they need to figure that out. We've used the RPI, and it's been effective in the past, but right now, I mean, if you have a team that, to me, is one of probably the 5 best teams that could win a national championship, right? They played Maryland as close as anyone. And they win this and win 6 straight. Yeah. And their season's gotten progressively better each game. How do you keep them out?
And 2 against Dino and Duke in that stretch of 6 wins.
Right, does that change? Like, so you beat Duke twice.
Yeah.
But you're at 64%, they're at 88%.
Their RPI is better. I know. And don't forget Ohio State's in the mix too, and Ohio State has a head-to-head win against Notre Dame earlier on this year. So if they're back-to-back in RPI, well, the committee say, yeah, all things being equal, Ohio State beat you guys. So it's going to be tough for Notre Dame. But first things first, got to win possessions in this game, which they don't do to start the fourth quarter, and got to find a way to erase this 3-goal deficit.
A nice job by Kavanaugh there. Looked to see if they had someone on the offensive end so he could go over the midfield line and get possession.
Now here's his brother. Takes a hit from Caputo. Initially kept his feet, but now he'll draw the flag.
Notre Dame tenacious on the ride. Not going out without a fight.
No. Push with possession call against Jake Caputo. Means the Irish in that deadly man-up situation will get 30 seconds.
Right there. Clear push in the back.
Successful on their only man-up opportunity earlier on in the day. Richie Ardelli will put it in play. Jacobois up top. Now over to Kavanaugh. Pat Kavanaugh, no one steps out to him, so he misses the cage, though. He's unhappy with himself. Still 15 seconds, man up. Jacobois. Over to Kavanaugh again. Dobson to Jacobois. Richard Deli. Full strength.
Good time to attack here if you're Dobson.
He does, and he scores!
There needs to be a stat that you start checking goals 10 seconds after a man up expires because there's so much opportunity. Duke's now adjusting. You see Ledbetter out here, not in a position to slough off, and gets Dobson the ability to attack to the middle of the field. Yeah, Ledman on the right side was the man releasing from the penalty. And Dobson gets to his left hand. Gets his 20th goal of the season.
Blue Devil lead is now 2. The officials just want to have a word with a couple of the players over here. There's
a little jousting going over on the sideline.
No question.
There.
Ross Bergmaster, one of the wings, along with Wilson Stevenson. Lynch. It's so much stronger here in the second half.
I think it's 8 of 9, and the one they lost, they actually caused a turnover and maintained possession too. So that's 9 straight possessions after end of a quarter or after a goal that Notre Dame's gotten possession. That's how you come back. That's why they're down 2.
McCann. Dobson up top, over to Jacobois. Now the 2 Kavanaughs behind the cage. Dobson, he'll shoot. High in the air after Adler made the stop. Brower goes up and gets it. But a nice job causing the turnover by Chris Kavanaugh to get it back.
What an aware play. Chris Kavanaugh knew he wasn't going to get the ball, so he saw Brower running and timed up his hit and did it clean.
Pat Kavanaugh got some space, he'll shoot. Adler on the money.
I like that approach from Kavanaugh. I want him to bend in a little bit more towards the cage. Too much running and too much momentum going towards the sidelines. Needs to plan a little bit harder and get his energy going towards the cage.
Redmond comes out of there with it. Now the Blue Devils having to stem the tide a little bit. All the momentum on Notre Dame's side, but let's not forget Duke still with this 2-goal advantage that they've had going back to the early part of the second quarter. McAdory to O'Neal. McAdory has the shorty Harris guarding him. He's going to look to attack him. He does and gets a step. Back to his right, over to O'Neal. Landon can't get the shot on Cage, and Cohen wins the battle. Check that, Boyer wins the battle to the end line. Possession of the Irish. Good hustle play.
Great awareness from Boyer. He wasn't closest to the end line. He was close to where the ball went out.
Want to remind everybody, NBA playoffs roll on today. Bucks and Celtics at 3:30. Warriors and Grizzlies, 8:30. Both games on ABC and, of course, that ESPN app, so check it out. NBA in the playoffs. These two teams pretty much in a playoff right here, and they've known it for the last few weeks.
How about that play right there from Reynolds? Knowing that he had to get it over and couldn't go back over the midline, so he rolled it to the corner, stepped over the midfield line, allowing his offensive player to then go onto the offensive end and not be offsides.
Gray gets knocked off his feet and loses the ball. And we're going to get an inside the crease call against Gray. Now we get a call late.
An unsportsmanlike or delay of game penalty on Gavin Lindsay, I'd imagine, number 45.
1 minute unreleasable.
And that's tough. You're going to see it right here. Riley had gone to the ground. The cage is it. And he, again, in the game of lacrosse, there's like a, you kind of get that live rolling whistle, right? And so Duke was trying to get possession because they struggle to clear. But right there, you're not allowed to dislodge the stick from the other opponent's possession.
Dead ball.
And this is unreleasable penalty.
1 minute unreleasable for the best man up unit in college lacrosse. The Irish.
And they're winning faceoffs.
They have to take advantage of this. Kavanaugh, he'll shoot. Adler. And absorb the push. Taylor couldn't get a shot off. Now he gets it back and does.
That's the third pure hustle goal of this game, right? You had Harris early on in that clear, and right now, a little early in the possession for that shot for Kavanaugh, but his brother Chris engages Adler, and then Jackovois, and then Taylor here keeps his composure. You see Brower try to step in the cage and make the save. But now you have a face-off X, 14-13. About 31 seconds left on the man up. How big is this face-off?
Biggest face-off of the year for Notre Dame right here, at least to this point. Nasa wins it back to himself. To Adler, high, and he can't corral it, which means
if I'm him, I just throw it down the field at this point. Oh.
Battling for Kavanaugh to get possession. Now we get another call here, and this one's going to go against Notre Dame. Adler was dumped behind the play. All kinds of chaos on the field. The end result is that Duke is going to be able to run down this man down situation. As soon as we get a whistle, they'll be a man up. For how long is the question?
Well, that's going to be a penalty on Lynch behind the play, late hit on the goalie.
So now Duke is more than content to run some clock here and settle things up a little bit offensively. Denenza.
Look, I think it's important for them to have a good long possession. They haven't seen the ball.
Right.
Right? They've been on the defensive end for most of this half.
Let the defense chill a little bit. Caputo. Up top to Dyson. I think they're doing exactly that, Matt. Just letting this clock run down a little bit. O'Neal gets it inside of 10 to shoot. Caputo. Tried to get it to Dyson, just too high. He had a clear lane to the goal, but they couldn't connect. Now we'll get the call.
It'll be interesting to see if this is a releasable or unreleasable penalty as well.
As soon as they made the call, as soon as the flag came out, I saw Matt Danowski on the sideline screaming for unreleasable. Will he get his way? Not unreleasable, but it will be a 1 minute man up for Duke.
You see number 22.
Oh.
Late.
That's Will Lynch.
His shoulder, he led with his shoulder, was maybe a little high. It's maybe why they didn't get the unreleasable, or the unreleasable nature of that penalty, but definitely a late hit, giving the Blue Devils a man up.
2 for 4 on the day, man up for Duke. Lully behind the cage looking for cutters, as is Williams. Robertson gets it to O'Neal. Nakai up top. Now O'Neal will go to the far wing. He'll shoot. Entman makes the stop. Matt Douglas comes up limping a little bit for the Irish. This might hurt their clear. 57, banged up in the middle of the field.
And this is where you got to get it out.
Ben Ramsey does a nice job. Now he needs a little bit of help. Over to Taylor. Douglas staying on the field on the defensive end for Notre Dame. Okay, here we go. Midway through this fourth quarter. Irish down a goal. Jacobbois.
Oh, here it is.
Thought he might shoot it. No, Lipka. Kavanaugh. Couldn't get it off. Now scrapes it. Tried to just shovel it in. Adler did a nice job of staying with it.
I think Adler's best save of the game right there. Kavanaugh did a nice job getting underneath. But Adler did a nice job with the first save, and then Kavanaugh had the hockey slap shot that he was well aware of, and he was staying there. He matched body for body, knowing he probably wasn't going to raise that to the top portion of the cage. But watch out.
The turnover on the clear again against Duke. Every possession absolutely critical at this point. The lead has been dwindled down to 1 goal. Jacobbois will wait for Dobson and company to check in. Kavanaugh checking back at the shot clock. Got his defender Brower hung up. Now he comes up top to his brother Chris. Still plenty of time to shoot for the Irish. Here's Dobson. As Jacobbois cutting. He's got a big shot. Oh my gosh, Adler goes up and makes a great save.
That's his best save right there. Jacobbois dropped his hands and changed planes, but Adler read the scouting report.
I was all ready to scream goal. Kavanaugh now was good enough to get the shot. Now behind the back score by Taylor.
The Irish have fought their way back to tie this game at 14. Taylor with the behind the back near side.
Get me some oxygen, Wardo.
When you're pumped up and ready to get going, the last thing you want slowing you down is your worn-out tires. At CJ's Tire and Automotive, you'll find the best selection of tires at prices that fit every budget, like the Michelin Defender family, Michelin's longest-lasting tires on the road. Stop by any of CJ's 17 convenient locations to find the best tires at the best price. CJ's Tire and Automotive. Better, faster, and more affordable.
Plan your trip today. Remember it forever. Maryland. Be open.
Cast of thousands, or at least 6 or 7 or 8 of us in studio, breaking it all down for you. Both women's and men's brackets. You do not want to miss that. ESPNU tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. Welcome back to Old Spice College Lacrosse on ESPN. Yeah, this crowd's fired up, and why not? A beautiful day today in South Bend, and their Irish have scored 4 straight now to knot this thing up in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, they have done it in kind of all the ways you needed to do it to have a comeback, right? They're winning the faceoffs, they're winning ground balls, they're getting some saves, just relentless pressure on this Duke defense. It has been all fighting Irish for most of the second half, just based on the discrepancy in possession time.
Well, 8 out of 10 faceoffs in the second half will do that for you. So Will Lynch has been phenomenal, and you saw the Irish resume, and Coach Corrigan knows it. Got to win this game. Now they're right back in it.
Another possession here for the Irish.
First time we've been tied since 7-7 in the second quarter. Game of runs, and the Irish are on one right now. 4 straight goals, and Jacobbois looking to make it 5. McCann back to his left. Help comes. Now Dobson wants it. He'll fire and score!
Talked earlier about him taking some shots off stale offense. Well, that was the exact opposite. What offense from Notre Dame. The Irish now up by 1, but look at this absolute missile to the far post. What an angle. Dobson, only a sophomore. Look at the torque and the body control. Just picture perfect form.
Earlier in the week, Coach Corrigan said when all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And he was talking about Dobson. He said his game has become much more complete this year. But that was the hammer in the nail situation right there. 5-0 run for the Fighting Irish. They've retaken the lead, and Lynch has been great at the face-off X, but a violation there gives possession to Duke. Matt, you said it, the possessions have been so tilted toward Notre Dame in this second half. If you're Duke now with possession, you got to settle down, don't you?
Absolutely. Again, there's still 5 minutes left in this game, so an eternity for them to find their groove. But again, go back to what was working.
McAdory, Entman makes that stop, and McAdory gets the rebound. He'll be in the crease, and it'll be a turnover.
And that was a good take for McAdory, but Entman, the off-stick low save. The one piece of advice from McAdory there is maybe shoot top side, given Entman's tendency to go low. But not a bad offensive set and a good high-quality scoring opportunity for the Blue Devils.
Entman was a wall to start this game, and Notre Dame really relied on him. Great save that time, and got possession back to the Irish. Dobson. Up top, Jacoboys couldn't handle it. McCann, though, tracks it down.
I'd still look to go back to Dobson here from Notre Dame. Still matched up against the short stick.
As is Chris Cavanaugh here. Cavanaugh back to the middle of the field. He'll look to dodge. Got his hands free. Dobson again. Just too high.
Can you see that? Like from up,
no,
you can't see the ball
I can
at
hear
all.
it. I think it dented the fencing in the back. Dobson will try again. This time Adler makes the stop. McCann thought about getting a shot off. Pulls it out. Corrigan says, yeah, settle down here. We get 60 seconds fresh on the shot clock to run the offense.
What a great save by Adler there. McCann looked like he almost wanted to pull the trigger on a behind the back shot, but realized that possession right now probably more important.
If you've arrived on campus early to tailgate for Garth Brooks tonight, just come by here. Standing room only, and check it out. You'll be glad you did. Dobson's going to track this down. Still 25 to shoot. Jacoboys. He'll fire it. Bounces it up. Can't get it on cage. 16 to shoot. Brower and Cavanaugh now from X. Cavanaugh, he's going to come upfield. Duke's going to have to hold on for another 10 seconds here. Irish going to have to move quickly. Inside to Taylor. Can't beat Adler. Loose ball behind the back, and Jacoboys couldn't get it on net. Full 60 seconds, though, because of the initial Adler save. And the Irish will get a fresh shot clock. Long defensive possession for the Duke Blue Devils.
Adler keeping his team in it here on this possession with 2 amazing saves there.
McCann on Ledman. Forced behind the cage up top. Jacoboys. The Irish lead by 2.
Notre Dame has found its stride, doing everything well. Right here, Jacoboys sees that Dobson is unmarked. And what I like about this shot for Dobson, the last 2 were absolute bombs to the top portion of the cage here. Adler thinks he's going high. This time he changes it up. Gets his 3rd goal of the game. We now have a 2-goal Notre Dame lead.
Naso got the better of Lynch that time. Here comes the pressure, though, and Kavanaugh dislodged it. What a beautiful job that time by Chris Kavanaugh. After possession was gained by Naso, he released from the restraining box and caused a turnover.
One team playing like if they lose, they have a 0% chance to get into the field for the NCAA tournament. The other not quite as intense. It's the small plays that have made the difference in the second half as Notre Dame is in the driver's seat.
Chris Kavanaugh shaken up a little bit after that big hit on Naso. So Coach Corrigan says, I want to call a timeout, talk things over. 2:10 left to go in this game, up by 2 goals, facing a must-win situation. Let's take a look at who's ready for anything today, and it's Eric Dobson. It's all brought to you by Old Spice. He's been huge in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, they've played some great offense, and the range on these shots is just ludicrous. That one to the far corner. Now here off the good offensive set, the pass from Jack DuBois changes it up and goes near side low. Notre Dame's taken 32 shots in this half to Duke's 10. That tells the story of why they've flipped the script here and now have a 2-goal lead.
What a gutty performance today by the Irish. We talk about how they're on the bubble for the NCAA tournament. I just don't see it, man. I mean, if this team wins 6 in a row to come back in this game and beat this Duke team as well as they were playing in this game. Duke was hitting on all cylinders by midway through the third quarter.
Yeah, it's an interesting, right? So we saw that the ACC, right, based on the statistics, had like a 2.2 teams, right? So Notre Dame wins this. You're going to keep, so Duke has then an 88% chance again. Does that mean Virginia's out? Right, which could happen, right? Duke wins this game. You know, Virginia's the ACC champions outright. And they aren't a lock to the tournament.
I know, they're not a lock because their RPI is 9 at the present time, but
again, I think
Virginia beat Notre Dame in the head-to-head.
I just look at it where it's the ACC, I don't think is as deep as it always has been. But I think the 3 top teams are elite. And it's really hurt them, you know, having some struggles early on in the season, some out-of-conference games that they usually always win that they lost. And then kind of the Ivy League having a bunch of teams about the same level.
For Duke, it's Loyola and Syracuse, their losses. For Notre Dame, really no bad losses. They just don't have as many, you know, the signature wins that they need.
The Jacksonville Dolphins loss. You know, is that that's a good team, but won't be a great.
Well, it'll help Duke if they can come back and win against Richmond today, but all is mute for the Irish if they can't hold on to this 2-goal lead. Dobson got a lane to the goal, instead opts to pass it out.
And I like this set. They're clearly playing stall ball, but they're not just sitting in the corner. They're running people out of the box. They're making this Duke team scramble. This will lead to a high-quality scoring opportunity.
Now McCann coming back on. Still 19 seconds to shoot. McCann gets the pass from Kavanaugh. Under a minute to play. McCann with a nifty move and just shoots it high.
He's hurt. They're going to have to stop the clock here.
McCann trying to get to his feet. Corrigan all the way out on the field, imploring the officials to stop play with this player hurt in the crease. They finally do with 51 seconds remaining. Corrigan knows he's putting everything on the line.
Yeah, it's a nice timeout because McCann was down in the crease, unable to get up. And now what happens there is your rides all mess up because that's a midi who's now stuck on the offensive end. So a great timeout from Coach Corrigan.
Blue Devils looking for their first goal since the 1 minute and 36-second mark of the third quarter. This has been a dominating second half and especially fourth quarter for the Irish, as you see both Danowski's father and son in this Duke huddle. The Duke resume, I mean, they come into this game 7th in RPI. I just can't imagine them dropping that far after a loss to a team that's 6 through 20 in the RPI.
This would be, so I mean, it would be, in my opinion, a travesty if Duke gets in with a loss here and Notre Dame wins. That Notre Dame would have beaten them twice.
It's a bitter pill to swallow.
And that's when you have to start thinking, all right, we have to maybe figure out what's a better method or model for it.
Well, Coach Corrigan said it earlier this week. He said, look, it's the coaches and the Coaches Association are as much to blame as anything because we left it up to the NCAA and their desire to use the RPI. RPI works great when you have a sport like basketball with a ton of games. Football and lacrosse, when you're dealing with 12, 13, 16 game seasons, it's too tough to make that formula work properly.
And it was interesting perspective, right? He's like, we knew this was going to be an issue at some point, and we never did anything about it. And he's like, we had the means to do it.
It's an issue for his team right now as they came into this game ranked 15th in RPI, needing a win, and they're under a minute away from getting it. Duke's got to score quickly. Frizzoli, nowhere to go. Back to Adler. They only have 5 seconds to get it across the midfield line. Carpenter, desperation with the pass to Caputo. Now we get a loose ball. They won't get it. It's a failed clear against Duke. Possession to Notre Dame.
And this is tough to watch if you're a Duke fan. Duke cannot get the ball into the offensive end. Notre Dame's not even a 10-man ride, right? That's usually when you bring the goalie out and you play with one extra player.
Harris gets leveled and we get a flag. I don't know about that call. We'll have to see if it's illegal. Sometimes these flags come out after a hard hit.
Now there's 14 seconds left in the game, so not going to make much of a difference in my opinion. That's good lacrosse. That's tough physical. Love to take a look and see. I don't think it'll have much impact on the game.
It's a push against Duke with possession, so 32nd man up. It's against Caputo.
I mean, that's
Harris turned.
Harris is leaning his shoulder and turning into him.
Yeah.
So a tough call. Again, but credit Notre Dame for, they may not have been the better team, but they were the more engaged team, the more physical team. They wanted it more, and that's going to be the difference. I mean, the second half, what a masterclass performance by them.
Goal won't count at the end, won't matter. Notre Dame ACC co-champs with Virginia. After an amazing second half come from behind today against the Duke Blue Devils.
Your ACC co-champs now will sit and wait to see if they can make it into the NCAA tournament. What a matchup by both teams. Notre Dame is on a run. Who wants to play them?
NCAA Women's Beach Volleyball from Gulf Shores, Alabama coming up next. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time.